What's going on, guys? What up? All right, we're back. Getting everything set up. See if I can pull this off. All right, so check this out. Give me 1 second. I gotta set everything up. Give me 1 second. All right, hold on. I'm turning this thing sideways. All right. We're gonna dive into some really great training right now. I'm gonna turn the phone sideways. If your phone does not automatically flip and go to widescreen, that's because you have not updated your Periscope app. All right. So I'm turning it sideways right now. All right, let's make sure I can, you guys can see me, hear me good. Give me 1 second. Bam. Don't fall over. All right, cool. Almost there. All right, we're going to be getting started. We're going to be talking about how to make money as a real estate investor. All right, so I'm here in my office. I got my whiteboard behind me. I'm going to end up grabbing the phone off of the stand and taking it with me. But at the end of the day, we're here to talk about how to make money as a real estate investor. More specifically, a creative real estate investor. Somebody who, through their skills, through their knowledge, can go in and find a deal using little to none of their own money. Control that piece of real estate, flip it for a profit. Now, listen, guys, I just closed a deal. When did this close? On the 2nd. So a day or two ago, you guys can see I made $7,500. There's the name of my company right there. So it's one of those things. For $74.50 is what I ended up making on this little wholesale deal. Now, I do these all the time, and they're a lot of fun. They're really easy and simple to get into. The concept is called wholesaling, and if you guys don't know what wholesaling is, then you're going to want to listen up. And I'm going to kind of dive into more of the analysis part of the conversation, because we talk all the time about setting up your business and what business systems to use and marketing, and even on the back end of the deal on how to close the deals. I want to go right to the middle of a transaction, all right? And so if you're brand new to my Periscopes, I'm the CEO of CleverInvestor.com. We're a real estate investing educational company. We're based here in Phoenix, Arizona. And we teach good people like you how to become the greatest real estate investors in the United States, all right? We're no fluff. We get right at it. We're very positive. We focus a lot on the mindset part of being a real estate investor, as well as the technical side. All right, so if this is something that you've always thought about, maybe you're working at a job, you don't love it, it's not your true passion in life, you want to make more money, you're more valuable than working for somebody else, then you're going to want to pay attention, because the day I quit my job and I went to work for myself was the day that I felt finally in control of myself, my future, my family's future, my financials, everything. And even though I had to put in a lot of work to get to where I am here today, it was all worth it. And that's what it's all about. If you're going to spend the time working, spend the time fighting hard to make money, you might as well as do it to build something for yourself rather than for somebody else. All right, so please share the feed, ladies and gentlemen, and we're going to dive in. Now, for those of you that are brand new, never have done a real estate deal before, and you want to start cashing checks just like this, I would start by reading and doing a little research on the concept of how to wholesale a property. Now, I wrote a book. It's free for you. Grab it at cleverinvestor.com/Periscope. Ambition, can you please put up on the screen the URL for cleverinvestor.com/Periscope? And for everybody else, please share the feed. Obviously, I love hearts. We're kicking some serious butt in the hearts department, but if you guys are going to sit there and take notes, I'm cool with that too. Hearts aren't the most important thing. Me getting through to you and really sharing and showing you guys how it's done the right way is more important to me. All right? So, wholesale. Somebody asked, what does wholesale mean? Wholesale simply is putting yourself in the middle of a transaction without having to be licensed. When I first started real estate investing, I thought, I needed a real estate license. I thought I needed to be an expert at construction. I thought I needed to have a bunch of money. I thought I had to put like 20% down. I had to have good credit. I thought of real estate very traditionally. And what I found after doing research, like reading the book that I just gave to you guys, I started realizing there's a whole nother world out there that is way cooler than the traditional way of doing real estate. And, even though having a real estate license is awesome and you can make a lot of money as a real estate agent, I love my real estate agents out there. I think you guys are great. And if you have a license, more power to you. But you don't need it. I started realizing that, and I got into the game, and I realized that there's a way to do deals with no money. And when I heard of this concept of a no money down real estate deal, I thought to myself, no freaking way, it's not possible. How can that be? That doesn't make logical sense. Then I started learning the law. I started learning how to fill out contracts. I started understanding the terms of a real estate deal. I started understanding this concept of being a middleman or a middlewoman and putting myself in the middle of a transaction. So the short and skinny of it is you find a seller that wants to sell, okay? They're motivated, all right? These are off-market deals or maybe even a deal you find on the MLS, okay? But you find a deal and this person's really motivated, and because of their motivation, which is things like fire damage, property damage, old and outdated, job loss, foreclosure, financial pain, going through a divorce, inherited an unwanted property, there's a lot of reasons why somebody would become motivated because life happens. They become motivated, they have very little cash, but they have a lot of equity. Now, equity is simply the value of your house that is yours, meaning if you have $100,000, if you have a house worth $100,000 and you owe 50, what's your equity? So if you only owe 50 but it's worth 100, your equity is the difference between what you owe and what it's worth. Okay, that chunk right there is your equity. The challenge with equity is it's locked inside that real estate deal. You can't get it out unless you sell the house or take out some sort of a loan. And a lot of times when you're motivated, you don't have time to, sell traditionally. Maybe it's because the house is so distressed or you're in so much distress that either you got to sell it within a week or two, or the house is so distressed that you can't get a conventional loan on it. So now you've got to sell to a real estate investor. So here comes Cody. I show up and I'm like, hey, how's it going? My name's Cody. I'll pay cash for your house. Okay, maybe it's worth 100. I offer you 60. And after some negotiations, you accept. Okay, boom. Now I have a house under contract for $60,000. I haven't bought it yet, but I have what's called equitable rights in the property because I put the house under contract for purchase. So up to this point, all I've done is fill out a purchase and sale agreement. I haven't physically bought the house, but I'm in what's called my closing period. During my closing period, I'm going to take that contract, right? I'm going to take that paperwork, I'm going to hold it over my head, and I'm going to say, who wants this deal? It's off market, it needs some work, it's worth 100, I'll sell it to you for 65, okay? Or 70 or whatever. Somebody, a landlord or a rehabber, a professional investor is going to say, hey, I like that deal. I'll take it for 65 or I'll take it for 70. Now, you turn around and assign your contract over to that person. And when you do that, you're essentially creating money out of thin air, okay? And you turned around and you assign your contract to that end buyer. And when that end buyer physically closes on the deal because they have the cash, you're going to get your little assignment fee piece, which in that scenario was $5,000 or $10,000, depending on how much you marked it up from what you had it under contract for. So that's wholesaling. And when I realized that concept, I was like, yay, I could do that because, well, I'm broke. And I'm pretty smart, and I'm willing to work hard and go out there and find these motivated sellers. So then it became a mission of how to be a better marketer. So that way every motivated seller in my town raised their hand and said, Cody, I want you to help me. All right? So then it was like, okay, I'm a real estate investor, but I'm really not a real estate investor. I'm a marketer. And when I realized that, I put my marketing hat on and I became good at online marketing and offline marketing and direct mail marketing and bandit signs and hunting down those weird creative deals where they have like second and third liens on the property and mechanics liens and then I was chasing probate deals and fire damage and flood damage and all these weird things that I realized that the more barriers to the marketing on the marketing side there are, the better the deals. So the better you become at marketing and finding those leads, the more money I started making. So that's how my business grew to the point where I've done over 1,500 real estate deals, and I'm killing it here in Arizona, and I invest in about, 10 or 15 different markets across the country. All right, so everybody tracking on how wholesaling kind of works, all right? That was like the down and dirty how to wholesale. And if you want to learn more, I wrote all this down for you. Very simple to understand English. Go and download that book at cleverinvestor.com/Periscope. Cool? All right, and listen, guys, if you're promoting on my Periscope, I'm going to snipe your ass, so knock that off, all right? Everybody chill out with the comments unless it has something to do with what we're talking about. All right. You guys want to dive in and talk about how, one of the questions I always get is, how much should I offer that motivated seller so that way I know that I'm going to get a good deal and they're going to, I don't ever want to take advantage of somebody. I want it to be a win for them too, but at the same time, I need to know what to offer. That way I have enough of a spread where I can mark it up and make a profit. All right, and remember, our back-end buyer is who? It's a landlord or a rehabber. So if our back-end buyer is a landlord or a rehabber, then we got to make sure that we think like a landlord or a rehabber. Is that making sense? All right, good. Like I told you guys yesterday, this is a place that the best of the best come to become better, and that's exactly what you guys are doing right now. All right? All right. So I'm going to pull this off. All right. Somebody asked, does this work the same in Holland? I don't know. I've never been to Holland. Maybe you're going to send me an invite. I'll come over there. We'll flip some houses together. But I don't know. I know that this is the way it works here in the United States. And we teach students from all over the world how to invest here in the U.S. All right. So I know U.S. real estate. I don't know much about anything outside the United States. But I'm sure that these concepts might spark an idea in your head to go out there and research and find out if you could do this in your country. And I bet there's some creative real estate investors doing it right now that are making a lot of money, and you want to be one of them. All right, do I wholesale commercial? It is absolutely possible to wholesale commercial. I don't do it as a main source of revenue, but if I ever get a commercial building, I used to buy a lot down at the foreclosure auctions. I would buy all the time commercial deals, small multifamily, medium-sized multifamily, some small, basic, corner store type commercial buildings, but I wouldn't say it's my main profession. All right, please share the feed, guys. We're about to dive into this. All right, we'll take questions here in a little bit. All right, so I'm going to turn the camera back. Bam. All right, here we go. All right. So check this out, guys. I'm about to dive into this concept that wholesalers use in order to find out what the most they should offer. Now, listen, here's a couple of things that I need to say before I dive into this, and you're going to want to write these down. This formula, okay, I didn't make up the formula. I just use it, especially when you're brand new. It's not a hard line in the sand. It is not something that if you go over the number, you're going to fail or lose money or have an issue even. This is just so you can get that quick gut check to say, I'm on the right track. Now, here's the truth of the matter. When you find a seller that wants to sell and they're motivated, okay, there's a couple of factors or things that are going to be coming into play that are going to modify how you negotiate and what you offer. For instance, how much they owe. Okay, one of the questions I always ask as I'm getting off my very first phone call is, hey, listen, I think I got everything here. Let's say the guy's name is Bob. Bob, I really appreciate you giving me the opportunity to earn your business here today. I think I got everything that I need to go back to my business partner and see if we can't put an offer in front of you here later today. And I'll be calling you back. Oh, wait, hey, you know what? I see here in my system that you have a mortgage on the property. Is that accurate? Okay. You see how I kind of did that as an afterthought? The reason I do it, because if I just go to Bob and I say, hey, Bob, do you have a mortgage on your property? Bob might be like, and breaks. Why are you asking me a personal question? right? But if I do it as almost like the Columbo afterthought, where I'm like, I got everything, I'm good to go. I'm gonna put our highest and best offer in front of you, and oh, you know what? I see here in my system that you have a mortgage on the property. Is that accurate? And once he says yes or no, I now know whether or not Bob I'm starting to visualize how much equity Bob has. If Bob says he does not have, no, that's not accurate, I do not own anything or owe anything on this property, then I know that it's a free and clear house and I'm on the right track, all right? All right, so I'm gonna repeat that one more time, just so you new investors can kind of get the lingo. All right, Bob, I think I got everything that I need here today. I really appreciate you giving us an opportunity to earn your business. I'm going to go back to my business partner and see if we can't put our highest and best offer in front of you here later today. And yeah, I think I got everything. Oh, you know what? I see here in my system that you that you have a mortgage on the property. Is that accurate? And then I'm just going to be quiet and I'm going to let Bob talk. And Bob's going to say, nope, I don't, or yeah, I do. Oh, okay. Just so I have it here and I fill out this space so my computer lets me go to the next stage. Do you have about an estimate on how much is owed currently? 8 times out of 10, they're going to tell you, right? Now you know you can calculate their equity. That equity piece is going to come into play because obviously if they owe $80,000, the house is worth $100,000. They're not going to be able to sell it to you for $50,000. Make sense? Cool. All right, so here we go. I'm going to show you guys a couple things. Now, I'm going to give you this formula first, and then we're going to step back from the formula and explain how it's used. All right, so the formula is, it's called the maximum allowable offer formula. All right, it's real simple. The maximum allowable offer formula. I'm going to turn my phone sideways again so I can get it all. Okay? All right. So the MAO formula is after repaired value times an investor discount. Okay? After you calculate that number, you're going to minus out estimated repairs, estimated closing costs, which include these two percentages, an estimate for sales and an estimate for closing costs, and what you want to make as a wholesaler. So I'm going to step back so you can see the whole thing. MAO equals ARV times investor discount minus estimated repairs minus estimated closing costs minus wholesale fee. All right? All right, we're going to get back to that here in a second. So I gotta explain a few things. First off, guys, share the feed right now. Please share the feed. If this is interesting to you, if you guys are getting some value out of this scope, please share the feed right now. And while we're doing that, a lot of you guys, a lot of you that know me know this, but for those of you that don't, thank you, Brandon, CEO. Thank you, Laura. Thank you, Jason. Thank you, Arc Dude. Keep sharing the feed, guys. Thanks, you X-Flares. A lot of you guys know that or don't know this, but I am a severe germaphobe. I have these giant things all over, and I know this isn't all that much healthier, but literally, I don't know what it is. Over the years, I became such a germaphobe. It's crazy. It's my OCD. Thank you, Real Salt. Thank you, Terry Klein. Appreciate you guys. Keep sharing the feed, please. All right. So, maximum allowable offer formula. The formula is designed, how do you share? I'm a newbie. You swipe right or up on your phone, depending on the type of phone you have. And then it'll show you your sharing options. All right, thank you, Mr. Cobone. I always screw your name up, by the way. I call you Carbon, Cobone. All right, here we go. Let's get back into this. So, the maximum allowable offer formula is really designed to give a wholesaler a gut check on, hey, if I'm negotiating with this seller, let's say they own the house free and clear for this example, they could in fact, sell it to me for $1 if they wanted to. Let's say the house is worth $100,000 and they own it free and clear. They could sell it to me for any amount. Obviously, if they owe $100 and it's worth $100, they can't really sell it to me for less than $100 unless I do what's called a short sale. So, you got to really try to identify the equity in a deal first. But once you kind of identified, like, hey, let's say the seller owes $30,000 and it's worth $100. Well, we have $70,000 of room to negotiate. So one of the first questions I'm going to ask the seller is, what do you want for your property? And they're going to tell me, I want $80,000. Okay? It's my job as a negotiator to negotiate them down if I believe that $80,000 is too high of a price for me to control that property and flip it out to a landlord or a rehabber. If $80,000 is a price where I can make good money, then fine. Just put the house under contract. Don't worry about negotiating. Don't worry about maximum allowable offer. Just put it under contract and flip it out. But what happens more times than not is you go to a seller and you say, what do you want for your property? They say, I want $80,000 and it's worth $100. And you're like, man, I think $80,000 is too much. Wonder what I really should offer. And I got to kind of like get a game plan and a strategy together. All right? So that's where maximum allowable offer formula comes in. So it's going to work like this. You're going to write out your formula and you're just going to start plugging in the pieces. All right? So I'm going to carry this little thing around. Okay. So MAO is the ARV times investor discount. So what is ARV? This is our best guess at what the property is worth if it was fully fixed up. Okay? So if it was fully fixed up, the ARV is some amount. Okay? So how can we get ARV? We can get it through just going to Zillow. That can give us a gut check of an ARV. We can go to our local real estate agent and ask them to do a comparative market analysis on the property, and they could tell us ARV. We can just guess ARV based on what the average price per square foot of houses selling in the area are. Okay? There's a lot of ways to find ARV. The good news is when you're wholesaling, it doesn't have to be perfect, because my view of what this is, if I ask 10 people, we're going to get 10 answers. So if I ask 10 real estate agents what the value of a house is, you're probably going to get 10 answers. They'll all be within a range, but those comps aren't going to be perfect. It's more of a art form than a science. All right? So let's just say you use Zillow, and Zillow tells you the house is worth $100,000. All right? What's the investor discount? The investor discount is simply a discount from market value that investors in the area are demanding based on whether it's a buyer's market or a seller's market, a hot market or a cold market, a big market or a small market, right? So here in Arizona, the typical investor discount is about 25%. So said another way, investors want to pay at the highest 75 cents on the dollar for an investment property. They actually want it less than that, and obviously the lower the better. If you could get a house for 50 cents on the dollar, you're in good shape, right? Okay? But at a bare minimum, they're saying to themselves, if I'm going to part with my hard-earned cash, my cash has a value. So I have to discount the value of that real estate to exchange it for my cash. Does that make sense? All right. So you take the ARV, you times it by the investor discount. Once you get that number, you subtract out estimated repairs, and this is just your best guess. I'm going to ask the homeowner, what does the property need? I'm going to look at the age of the property, the square foot and size of the property. I'm going to look at how long ago they did any repairs or added any upgrades. And I'm just going to make a guess, and I'm going to use whole numbers. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 50,000, whatever. Okay? And if I have to call somebody to help me get estimated repairs, that's fine. But, just guess. All right? Estimated closing cost. Here's the general rule of thumb. You're going to estimate your closing cost remember, we're thinking like a rehabber or a landlord. And the rehabbers and landlords think, when I go to sell this thing on the open market, I'm probably going to have to pay real estate commissions, which is 3% for the buyer, 3% for the selling agent. So that's 6%. And then I probably have another 2% in just general closing costs. So that's 8%, right? So before I can run this formula, I need to take my estimated closing costs. Now you can call your closing agent and say, hey, I think the house is worth $100,000. Can you tell me what my closing costs are going to be? Or you can just take 8%, go 8% times ARV, and that'll give you your estimated closing costs. Okay? In this scenario, if I think that the value of the property is $100,000 based on my basic research I did to establish ARV, and I'm going to use 8% as my general rule of thumb, that means 8% times $100,000 is $8,000 as my estimated closing costs. All right? And then what do I want to make as a wholesaler? What if I said, you know what? I want to make $5,000. That's 2 months' pay for what I currently do. I normally make $2,500 a month. I'd like to double my monthly income from my typical JOB. Maybe you say you want to make $10,000. That's fine. You get to make up what you want to make on this property. Now, obviously, you can't get greedy here, because here's the thing. You have to leave what they call meat on the bones, all right, for those rehabbers and those landlords. Because if you don't have enough meat on the bones, you don't leave enough on there, they're going to stop taking your phone calls, opening your emails, or answering your text messages the next time you reach out to them and say, hey, I got a hot deal. They're going to say, no, you don't. You're too greedy. You take too much of the deal. The seller might say to themselves, you're too greedy. I'm mad that I did a deal with you. You just want to create a win-win scenario for everybody always. So just take the wholesale fee that you need and leave the good stuff to the guy or gal that's taking all the risk. All right. So in this scenario, $100,000 is our ARV times our investor discount of 25%. Said another way, I could take $100,000 times 25%, run that calculation, then take that $25,000, subtract it off of the $100,000, or I could take, I think it's called the reciprocal. I'm not the best at math. And so instead you could just take $100,000 times 0.75. All right, so I'm going to say that one more time, because this is the part that always starts screwing people up. If the investor discount is 25%, okay, it might be 30, it might be 35, it might be 15, okay? In a hot market, 15 might be the investor discount. Guess what it is in San Francisco? 0, right? Here in Arizona, it's about 25%. All right, so if it's 25%, so you're going to take ARV times investor discount. Instead of doing two calculations, let's go ARV times 0.75, which is the reciprocal. All right, so you're going to have 75,000 minus estimated repairs, which let's just say it's 10,000, minus estimated closing costs, which we just said is 8,000. Okay, minus your wholesale fee, which is, let's just say in this example, 5,000. So somebody do this calculation for me. 100,000 times 0.75, that's 75,000, minus 10,000, that's 65,000, minus 8,000, minus 5,000. Okay? So what is that? All right, everybody agree? 52. Good. All right, so now 52,000 is your MAO in this example. So let's talk about that. Let's talk about it. All right, so we did our little MAO formula. We did our little MAO formula, and it spits out 52,000. Now what? What does that mean in the big picture? So we're talking to the seller, and we say, what do you want? And they say 75,000. They owe 40. MAO says 52. Now what? What do we do? What do you think? What do you think the next kind of step in the process is? We now have the most that we should offer in order to make $5,000 is $52,000. So we got to offer, you nailed it, growing entrepreneur, you got to offer less than $52,000 and work your way up. Okay? So they originally want 75, you offer 45, you negotiate up to 50, then you get to 52 and they're still holding strong. Let's say you get to 60. Is that okay? Let's say that they say they'll accept 60. Your MAO is 52. Do you put the house under contract? What do you think? No, no way, no, nope. Nope, 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 nope. If you want to lose money, nope, nope. Laura Blanc, you nailed it. A couple other people nailed it. Yes, you do. Yes, you do. MAO is a gut check. It's not a hard line in the sand. It gives you something to shoot for. But here's the beautiful thing about wholesaling. The reason it's no money down, the reason it's risk-free, okay? When I go to a seller and I say, I will buy your house for $60,000, pay cash and close in 2 weeks, I'm not lying to them, okay? I'm telling them the truth. It just isn't going to be my cash. It's going to be somebody's cash, right? But it will close for cash, meaning no financing will be on the deal, okay? I'm going to have it under contract for $60,000. What does that give me when I put a house under contract for $60,000? It gives me equitable interest in their property, which gives me the ability to try to resell it. So I'm going to take my contract, I'm going to hold it above my head, and I'm going to say, I have control of this off-market deal. Does anybody want it for 65? It's worth 100, but it could be worth more. It could be worth 105 or 110. I don't know. It depends on what you do to it. You might add a bedroom and a bathroom, add value, add square footage. You might have different plans. You might just comp it and think, I thought it was worth 100. You think it's worth 110. Right? We're all different. Our perceptions of value are different. You ask 10 people, you're going to get 10 different values. You always control the real estate. Wholesaling is a game of control, ladies and gentlemen. You have to put it under contract. Now I have it under contract. I can go back to that seller 2 weeks from now, after I've marketed it to the world and said, who wants it? 65,000. No, nobody? Who wants it? 60,000? No? 55? Can I get a 55? And then all of a sudden somebody says, I'll take it for 55. Now you know the value of that house. Well, I have it under contract for 60. Okay? Somebody offered me 55. I'm going to go back to the seller and do what? I'm going to go back to the seller and renegotiate. Okay? And I'm going to say, listen, we were all about the house. I love you. I love working with you. I really want to do deal with you. We're there. We're there. But, there's some new information that's come available. We are cash investors. I can't get into a bad deal. I don't want to earn a lot of money on this deal, but I want to earn an honest living. I just want to put our heads together. We're two smart people. My partner's starting to go sideways on me. He's looking at another deal that we're about to pull the trigger on. We can't do both. Is there any way that you're going to be flexible? Because if you are, I think I can get the deal done at 50. I know we originally said 60, but if we can do it for 50, I can get it done and close by Wednesday. What do you say? Okay? Renegotiate. What if they don't want to? What if they say no? I don't want to renegotiate. I want 60 or no deal. If you have your contract and the terms of your contract done the right way, you can just cancel the contract and walk away. What if you eliminate the fact that you want to wholesale it and you're just going to take it down and rehab it? Could you take this deal? That's a good deal, right? Still a good deal at 60. You just don't have enough spread in there to make money as a wholesaler. Okay? Could you take that deal and just go borrow money from, say, a private money lender, your aunt, your uncle, whoever has money in your family, whatever, and take the deal down and try and clean it up, put the 10 grand into it, and do your own rehab? You could, right? You could. So you can renegotiate, you can walk away, you can take the deal down, you have options. And that's the most beautiful thing. So when you're brand new and you're just getting going, you might have said, no way, no deal, or you're going to look like a fool. That's the name of the game. You want to put yourself in so many situations where at any given moment you have 10 or 15 houses that you have under contract. 10, 20% of them, they're going to turn into no deals, right? You're going to have to cancel the contract, walk away. That's okay. Sometimes it happens. All right, it's part of the game. But if you make, $7,500 on average per deal, and you do 10 of them, and 5 of them, you do 10 out of the 15 deals you have under contract that month, 5 of them fall out, but 10 go through, and you make 75 grand this month, does your life suck? No, life's pretty good. All right? So that's the nuts and bolts of this concept of the maximum allowable offer formula. You want to step into the big leagues, you got to put yourself out there. You got to just, get in these situations where you're constantly putting houses under contract. The name of the game is control. The name of the game is putting on your marketing hat every single day, going to work, building those relationships. This week alone, I have 4 lunches. Okay, starting today, going through the rest of the week. I have 4 lunches with power players set up. Okay, I never just eat lunch to eat lunch. I'm constantly trying to network and put myself and our team out there so we can build as many relationships as possible. All right, that's the name of the game. All right. Whew. Any questions? Because I'm getting tired. Screenshot of the whiteboard. All right. All right, cool? All right, now it's that moment in our conversation where you tell me how amazing I am, and you tell me thank you, and that you love me, and that I'm awesome, and that I'm changing your life, and I'm taking you to the next level. And where else can you find this except for the Clever Investor Periscope family, right? Come on, bring it. Bring it. Thank you. Thank you over there. Got your back. All right, perfect. That's all I got for you guys today. Go grab that book, www.cleverinvestor.com/Periscope. All right? Christo, you dirty bird. All right, I got to go. And I love you guys. Have a great rest of your day. Go out there and kill it, make some money, and just keep passing this information forward, all right? Send people to cleverinvestor.com/Periscope. All right, love you guys.